Hey campers, Joe, your Tin Cup Chef here. We're going to be taking my boat over to a unimproved campsite. So let me get all this stuff packed up and we'll get across the lake and I'll tell you more about it when we get there. Got all the stuff unloaded. Now I still have to take it up to the bank, up the bank, and start setting up camp, and I'll meet you up top. Oh boy, that was a workout for an old man, but got it up here. I got my breath caught for the most part, and I had a little drink of water. And before I go over the campground, I thought I'd show you real quick what I brought along. I'll just give descriptions of what's in it, not take you through each one, but let's go have a look. So first, we got the tent, the big tent, and my closed duffel bag. There's some cots, and then the plain old trunks have got, one's got camp kitchen in it, the other one is the camp pantry with all the dry goods. That other one over here is the audio video case. Yep. And in here has the power station. I've got a wash station here, the water, the cooler, the new cooler we'll talk about later, and then of course more water there. And and over here are the two big plain old trunks with camping gear, the sleeping bags and tarps and poles and stuff like that. Oh, and the cook set. And let me show you this campground. It's one of my favorites. You know, besides being right on the water, got this stone fire ring, and back over behind here goes some really beautiful forest up there, and the tent's probably gonna go there or over there, over in that spot there. Coming back around, view of the lake, but yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite places to come. It's off the grid. It is bear country, like I might have said. There's no water, no toilets, and so, you know, I got ways to deal with that I'm going to share with you later on or in separate videos. So stay tuned, and I'm going to start working on putting a tent up. So went to put up the tent and ran into a little problem here. One of the fiberglass poles broken. So what are we gonna do? Well, my choices are pack it up and go home, stay without a tent, but there's some bad weather coming. I could go to town, buy a brand new tent, or I could go to town and buy a repair kit. They sell repair kits for these. A lot of the poles out there. And guess what? I just happen to have a repair kit with me. You know, it's the Boy Scout in me. Always be prepared. Got the tent pole fixed, and got the tent up, as you can see. So yeah, that put me behind schedule quite a bit, but you know, at least it's still on. I still got a tent for the week, and now I'm just down to putting everything together, putting things away. Well, it's been a long first day, I'll tell you that. I probably launched the boat from the boat launch around 11. It's 6:30 now, but I finally got everything over here and mostly set up. We'll go inside real quick. Hope it stays light enough for you. A couple of the planos. I want to keep the cast iron inside so it doesn't get wet and rust. And sleeping quarters, my clothes, and my night light there, and then there's a bear horn, and also another pepper spray right here, because for close contact, if he should come into the tent or through the tent, I don't want that big one, I just want a little one. And also my pistol is there too. So with like I said, I'm starving, and I'll probably get something going here. My favorite recipe for sloppy joes right here. You can't beat it. This is my hamburger, which I pre-cooked at home so I could get rid of a lot of the fat that, you know, when you're up camping and you cook ground beef, you got all that fat to deal with. What are you gonna do with it? It's a real hassle. So I cook my ground beef, drain it, and cool it real fast. I froze this one. Get my pre-cooked ground beef in there. We'll dump about half of that in there. This is gonna be the fastest sloppy joes cooked that you've ever seen. Dish this up. Well, I'm gonna go find somewhere to sit down so I can eat this. Probably right on this bench over here next to the doggies. And just enjoy myself eating my sloppy joes. Gonna talk to you about something that nobody likes to talk about. That's number 2, poo-poo. When you're out camping somewhere where there's no potties nearby, you gotta come up with a good solution for that. This is a portable loo. And so you gotta do a little bit of assembly here. This is the bottom. This is gonna make the sides and raise it up. And this kit comes complete with the little bags to put in. And I put the toilet paper in there. Need a little roll of that. And then you'll also need some cat litter. Before you put the lid on, you would put the liner in it first, and then put the lid on it, and then you're good to go, so to speak. And it's better than trying to squat over a cat hole, I'll tell you that. The only other things to do yet is put my privacy tent up. We'll do that in a second. There we go. Okay, well, got her standing. I put some attached the guy wires around there so I won't have to worry about it blowing away or falling over. Got my loo. It's actually called a loo. And got my toilet paper. Sanitary wipes is kind of nice. So I think I'm set, you know. I'll talk to you guys later. Wanted to show you a couple of my new gadgets here. It's coffee making stuff from a company called BruTrek. I've got 2 different ways to go here. This one is a French coffee press, and then this one over here is a pour over system. So for this, you just put the coffee sock on your pour over there. I'm gonna put a couple tablespoons in this one. Pretty basic. Put your water in the pour over. Okay, so I can put that aside. Now I can put my creamer in this one. I want more creamer in there. Told you. I don't like coffee, I like creamer. Okay, I'm gonna screw this on. All right. So I got one coffee ready to go. I'm gonna have another pot to keep drinking later. I can just pour it into my mug, right? You got coffee for later. Or you could just pop it open now and pour in another cup right in here for a friend. This morning I'm in the mood for French toast and sausage links. All right, now that the sausage is done, we can move those off onto a paper towel for the time being. Just give it a good dunk. Get it over in the pan. Let's just give this a flip and take a look. There you go. Beauty. Beautiful. Got our sausage. Got our French toast here. Yeah. Now if you want to get fancy, you can sprinkle some powdered sugar on there. Don't waste that leftover egg mixture. Just pour that in there. Give yourself a side of scrambled eggs with it. There you go. Check out this setup. This is a cot tent by Out Sunny, and I've got a tarp here from Odeland. The great thing about this is I don't have to worry if it's gonna rain. I love this because it has such a big opening here that you can strap up. You should always have a tarp anyway, no matter what tent you're out with. It'll help give you an area to eat and cook and whatnot out of the rain. If you have just a tent, you're kind of screwed. You know, you're gonna stay in your tent the whole time. I should hope not. And you know, getting dressed and stuff get a lot easier when you can stand up and things like that. So yeah, I'm put my gear under here. It's this cot tent setup is only about that big by that long, and it weighs 19 pounds. It's very doable, you know, for weight and size. The tarp gets down into a little tiny package and weighs virtually nothing, and then you got your poles, which, yeah, they're long and make a package about that big each set, but you know, it's worth it. Well, the weather's taking a little bit of a turn. It's just a real light drizzle at the moment, but might get more rain. It's a good thing I have a tarp set up over my cot tent there. We're gonna have bacon fried rice with jalapeno. And I got some bacon. It's been pre-cooked before I came up here. Got the bacon prepped. Let's get some one little jalapeno in there. For the rice, we're gonna use this minute rice pre-cooked stuff. Get this stuff warming up. I can smell the jalapeno. Smells good, actually. Better get the rice in there. We're about ready for the eggs here. Egg number one. Scramble it up quick. Egg. One more egg. I think the boys want some too. All right, when it starts getting all firming up, now we can start mixing all this together. Gonna enjoy my breakfast in bed and take out the view. That's a nice view to look at while you're eating breakfast, don't you think? I thought so. So I'm gonna finish this and then do something with the doggies. I finally got everything all set up to my satisfaction. Thought I'd give you a quick run around here real quick. So, for starters, we got the Devos Light Ranger. That's that long pole thing. It'll go up 8 feet. The water supply. Got the iClever solar panel there. On the back side is the Jackery little power station. They seem to work pretty good, especially for all the needs that I have for power out here for my camera equipment. Got the doggies' bedroom. That's not their bedroom, it's just their sitting room. And of course, the Coleman tent, screen tent. I use the Plano cases to for benches and stuff. I got my video gear here. I got a spare table there. There's the inside of the tent. Of course, I've got a mini pepper spray right there that stays handy at night when I'm asleep. You wouldn't want to use a big one if you were, you know, if he's coming into the tent, because then you're going to just cloud yourself out too bad. But a mini one might help. Come back out. This campsite is really cool. It has the benches. Of course, I got the big pepper spray and a bear horn right there. If I see a bear at a distance, I'm going to hit the horn, see if he'll scoot along. If he starts coming close and coming at me, then of course we're going to use the pepper spray. Those are Plano trunks with the camp gear. I put the grate in the fire pit. I cleaned up all the stones around it. Got the wood pile over here. There's the, and then over here, hand washing station. The cooler, of course, out here. This is the Lifetime High Performance Cooler 55. I do a separate video on that. And lastly, but not leastly, we've got a potty station. I didn't want to deal with making cat holes all over the place every day, so I got it set up right here. I think I did a video just for about that part, in case you're interested. I don't know if you really will be, but anyway. So that's the quick rundown on the setup here. Oh, except for the cooking. So over here is the gas, single burner gas one. Teapot that I use a lot for heating up dishwater, also for my coffee. I'll explain that in a second. Got just your basic stuff. That's GSI cook set. Really like that. It's nice. And and then here is I forget the brand of this one. It's what is it? Oh yeah, Wheelers. It's the Wheelers cutlery. It's nice because it actually rolls the other way, but you can flip it around and stand it up like that. It's kind of cool. And then over here, this is really cool too. This is my coffee station. I've got a few things that I'll be doing a separate video on. This stuff is from a company called BruTrek. And you got to be sure to check out my video about BruTrek. So that takes care of that. That takes care of just about everything I got going on here. So it's time for me to start cooking and doing some stuff and taking the dogs for walks and fishing and all that good fun stuff. So we'll be continuing on. Bye. So for this week, I made a trip out to an area that I could only get to with my boat. That posed a little bit of a problem for me as far as cooler goes. So I needed something that was easy to move around, that was bear proof, and didn't cost too much. So I looked and looked and I looked everywhere. You know, a Yeti, oh man, they're just too heavy. I just don't want to deal with something that heavy and that expensive. So there's the Ozark Trail, and then there's another one from a company called Lifetime. And it's a 55 quart with wheels, and it's lockable as well. So debating the two, because they were both in about the same price range of, I think, 130 to 150, somewhere around in that area. I don't remember exactly what. So I ended up buying the Lifetime cooler. The biggest decision for me, believe it or not, between the two was that this one has the really easy to use clasps. The Ozark Trail had those rubber bandy things that you had to pull real hard to get loose. This is super easy to latch up and unlatch. And then it also has the lock on it right there, which was important to me. It's also, the Ozark Trail comes only in like a gray color. Then the Lifetime comes in white, and white is very helpful to me because it stays cooler on the surface on the outside, which of course is going to radiate inside. So that was another big plus, is having a white cooler. And inside it's got a rubber seal on there, and there is a drain out of it. You can see I've got a bunch of food in here already. It's been I've been out. I came up Sunday. Today is Tuesday afternoon. It hasn't been real hot here. I pre-cook some of my stuff. In here I've got bacon that's been pre-cooked. And then I wrap it in paper towel. You know, it will be good for a few days in the cooler here. I had done hamburger as well. When you get up here and you cook greasy stuff like that, then you got a problem of disposing of all that fat. All that's taken care of at home. These are potatoes that I pre-baked. Now potatoes take special consideration. Do not wrap them in foil when you bake them, and don't wrap them in foil after you bake them. When you do package them, put them in a bag with a lot of air. That's the problem with foil, is it blocks the air, and which will make things go bad even faster. Putting containers inside of here. Everybody's seen the egg containers. I love those. I've never had an egg break while they were in that. Onion container. Same principle as what I was talking about. And then here's one for tomatoes. Lettuce, but it works good for, I got a red pepper in there, green onions, and a jalapeno. See, you've got that much more air that's sealed up when you open up this cooler, and have a lot less air loss by having a lot of compartmentalized stuff in here. And I didn't put any ice at all in here. I put some ice packs, and my meats were frozen. I'm really excited with this new cooler, and we'll let you know more as I use it. So earlier this summer, I needed some new pants, and wanted to get some that could roll up over my knee, because when I go on my boat, you know, sometimes I have to push off and you know, get into the water a little bit, or maybe you're hiking and you got to cross a stream, and you know, they got those convertible pants that they come off, make shorts out of them, but you know, they're kind of a hassle if you want to just do a quick, you know, roll up and roll down. So in looking at pants, I only found one pair that worked out, and they didn't even advertise it as being to be able to do that. These are the Renegade by Kuhl convertible pants. See, they do unzip here, which is nice if you want to for longer term, but if I'm gonna go, like I said, I just want to get it up over my knee. Most of the other pants, or all of the other pants I looked at, you could only roll them up, and then you'd start getting stuck here because it wouldn't not made wide enough to do that. Even the ones that had zippers still had a problem because this part of the leg wasn't wide enough, and I couldn't get them to roll up over. But these Kuhl Renegades have a snap right here. See, that was the problem on regular long ones, that there's no snap there, so it stays this diameter. There are other pants that unzip, but they still wouldn't they wouldn't stay up when I got them up because it was too loose, because it was separated and nothing to hold it together. You know, if I do like this, if I roll this up, it's not really going to stay very well, or they wouldn't come up all the way. Except for these pants, what I found, you don't even have to unzip them. There's enough stretch in the fabric. You can just leave it even snapped right there, because this has enough give. Yeah. Now it might vary on body types and shapes that it won't work for you guys, but I wanted to show you what I found to be a perfect pant, because with that a little bit of elasticity, it's got some tightness to it, and they'll stay up when you get up there. You can even go a little further like that. So these are my favorite new pants now, the Kuhl Renegade convertibles. Well, the rain finally hit, and it's a good thing I got my setup here, but nice view. Rain's kind of nice once in a while, and I got everything set up underneath the tarp there with my cot tent, so I can cook, eat, just, you know, something besides sit inside the tent. While I'm out here camping, I thought we'd try a new recipe I heard about from a friend of mine. Poor man's ceviche. And ceviche is normally raw fish that's cooked with lime juice and then put in tomatoes and onions and stuff like that, and then eaten on crackers or flour tortillas. We're going to be using canned tuna, avocado, some lime juice. Of course, fresh lime would be better, but when you're camping, you don't know, you know, you're trying to save space and worry about things going bad. Crackers, and then some pico de gallo to mix with that. Get the tuna in there. Lime on this. Oh, now our pico de gallo. I'm thinking we probably need quite a bit of this. Get our avocados. Get those scooped up into there. All right. We'll give her a little mix. Looks good. Smells wonderful. I don't think these crackers are going to be able to take dipping into there, so I'm going to have to put it on a cracker. Come on, trying to get a good biteful. All right, here we go. Poor man's ceviche. Really tasty. Yeah, a lot of flavors going on there. You know, between the avocado, tomato, onion, jalapeno. I like the crunch from the cracker. You know, it's probably make a great tortilla roll up, but personally, I like eating it with the crackers. Yeah, I like it a lot. Knowing that my cooler is not going to hold out for the whole time, so I anticipated that I would have to do some meals that don't require refrigeration. And I've got my pantry box here with a lot of things to show you, and maybe you'll pick up a tip or two. These soups that are in packages, the dry ones, this is by Bear Creek, and this one is creamy potato, and it's made for 8 people. or 8 servings anyway. So that's not really, I don't want to bring the whole bag and have to deal with all the leftovers. So I split it out. I carefully weighed it out into four baggies. So to have a serving for 2 scalloped potatoes, cheesy scalloped potatoes. It's a serving for 4. It's too much for me, but I split it in half, and then now I've got 2 servings in here. Recommended to do it in the oven, but I found you can do it on the stovetop. One of my meals that I'm going to do up here is ham and scalloped potatoes. Okay, let's talk about milk. These little cartons of ultra homogenized milk, and they're shelf stable, which is great. This is my go-to for bringing milk. For meats for breakfast, you might not be able to pack on bacon or sausage and keep it cold. Well, you can always have some canned corned beef hash. Don't forget cereal. Cereal's great to bring along. Put it in a baggie in a single serve size. Egg noodles. I'm going to be doing a dish with this. I'm going to be making tuna casserole. The Pop-Tarts are great. Did you know that that's the first thing that flies off the shelves in a natural disaster area, like Walmart's and that? It's the first thing that's gone, because you can eat it breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can eat it hot, you can eat it cold, and it's, you know, it's self-packaged. Peanut butter. Did you know that peanut butter comes in these little packets here? You don't have to bring a whole big jar or stuff, and it's just shelf stable. You don't have to worry about keeping it cold. Same with jam. You don't have to refrigerate jam. Speaking of ham, the #1 rated ham for a canned ham. This is Hormel smoked ham with water. And this other one, this one's Bristol cooked ham. It comes from Walmart. Don't forget, you could bring along some crab meat, even tiny shrimp. You could have some cocktail sauce and make yourself a shrimp cocktail. Canned stew, tuna. You can do a lot of things with tuna. Might turn your stomach, but you know, the Chef Boyardee stuff, you know, they make spaghetti and all that kind of those things. I'm not a huge fan of that stuff. I just don't like the sauce. Hash browns, these are just awesome. These complete meals, and these are by Hormel too, are supposed to be microwaved, but you can boil them in a pot of hot water. You can bring along vegetable oil, and in the cans is kind of handy because you don't have to worry about it leaking out on you. Instead of bringing fresh lemons and limes, you can bring along these. No, it's not fresh lemon or lime, but you know, if you need something, at least you got something. So there you have it. So I was gonna split some wood up, which I'm in the process of, but I was trying to make some smaller pieces, and I was thinking, man, you really got to be careful when you're outdoors, out alone, so you don't, you know, do anything major and hurt yourself. So then, it wasn't 2 seconds later, I nicked my finger with the axe, and so luckily I didn't lose a finger, but so now I also have a first aid kit, so I got a band-aid right there, and I could wash it up, but if you were in a situation where you didn't have a lot of water or stuff, having these handy wipes, actually this might even be better than water. They're disinfecting hand wipes. So I'll use that for clean it up and put my Band-Aid on. Always bring a first aid kit with you. Doritos are a great way to start a fire. You just put a match to them and they burn really good, and I don't know who would want to do that, but then we can see how good this does to get a fire going. I got some little twigs and kindling here. Got more on the side, ready to go. All right. Now we're gaining steam because my other wood's catching fire. Probably gonna get a lot of smoke from that lichen on here, on this twig. Okay. Hey campers, it's my birthday today, and my favorite breakfast is eggs Bennedict, and I'm gonna do that for myself today. See how I get this out? Oh yeah. See? Put that on there. Oop, it's running away on me. Drain a little bit. See if I can get that centered. Let's see. Just like so. There you go. Eggs Bennedict out in the wilderness. It's happy birthday to me, huh? That's what I call breakfast. So I'm gonna sit down and enjoy this. Let's try it out here. Hash browns are still warm. Okay, take a bite. Cut this open there. Ooh. Maybe I better show you the inside there. Yeah. Oh. My favorite breakfast. A lot of work, but you know what? I'm worth it. And you guys will be too. So, think about maybe trying this yourself sometime. It's worth it. Well, just in case you're interested how I deal with dishes up here at camp, what I do sometimes, I have my GSI cook set. It fits inside of this kind of rubberized little basket protector, but it also works as a wash tub. And I just put a couple drops of soap in there, got some hot water, and it really works slick with that GSI set. That hot. Get some water in there. And I've got a little mini sponge that fits in that set actually, and then I've got a little rag that I use to dry dishes off with, and so that's pretty much all there is to that. You know, clean things off, dry them off. I don't put a lot of soap in there because I don't always rinse them, but ow, shoot, it's hot water. So get it cleaned off, put it on my table. If the water's really looking bad, yeah, I'll dump that, put some fresh water in here and re-dunk everything with fresh water. So that's the story on that. We got a special meal for the day tonight. It's sweet and spicy shrimp. Let's get our shrimp in there. I'm gonna dump these pineapples in now. Get those pineapples warmed up. Now, we need to add our quarter cup of Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. So, mix these up. I want to let this just simmer a minute and heat through real good. Okay, let's dish this up. Get our main course out here. So, we get myself some rice out. All right, and you see if it's hot. It's hot. That's hot. You could do the same thing with canned chicken. That way, if you're looking for meals where you don't have to have refrigeration or cooling, try doing this with canned chicken. So sometimes you try to take things kind of light and easy, and one favorite thing for a lot of people is cereal in the morning. I pack cereal in my baggies separate. Along those lines, milk is kind of a problem. If you don't have much cooling space, there's always these little shelf-stable individual cartons of milk. This really works well for people who love cereal. And I think that's what I'm going to have this morning. No big grand breakfast today. I'm just going to pour myself some cereal. Gotta be the easiest recipe I ever did, huh? And got my milk. These individual milks, they are the way to go for taking camping. So I've got a really tough log to split here, and thought I'd show you how we're going to handle that. So this log, it's got nuts on top and bottom. It's going to be, I mean, it's a hard log. If you were going to just swing an axe at it, it'd be hazardous and tough, and I don't know if you'd even get it through there. But I'll show you what I do. I take a hatchet, and I got my axe, and let me show you. Might be able to get it to go. There we go. There we go. Okay, there you have it. did the impossible. Today I was going to do pizza over the campfire there, but as you can see, the weather, it's gotten a little breezy and there is supposed to be rain on the way. So that might not be such a good plan. But I do have a different plan for our dinner, and that is we're going to cook under my tarp there. So it's a good thing you have a tarp when you're camping, right? So let me get seated and we'll tell you about what's going to happen. Okay. So what I'm gonna do for tonight instead is have tuna casserole. And I like it because I've got all ingredients that don't need refrigeration or cooler. So everything is shelf stable. I'm putting it in a bowl. You could put it on a plate, but you know, it's gonna kind of move around on the plate and whatnot. It's just as easy to do it in the bowl. I gotta get my crackers right here. I'm going to take about 4 of them and just crunch them up and sprinkle them over. Pretend that they're baked with butter, right? And then all I have to do is get my spoon, that I just dropped on the ground, get another spoon, and I can go over here and sit down and take up the view while I'm eating. And I don't think I can do this one-handed, so I won't be taking a bite, but I'm sure you really don't need to see me taking a bite out of it. But there it is, Camper's tuna casserole. Good old comfort meal. The crackers on top is a nice touch, gives it that little crunch in there. As you know, sometimes I do traditional stuff for breakfast and sometimes I do non-traditional stuff. I'm gonna make crumpets. The British thing, the crumpets and tea, that kind of crumpet. One more to flip. Like that. I'm just gonna have butter on it. And there you have it. There's the crumpets. Looks like they're cooked all the way through. Break one open just to show you. Yeah. See, it even looks like a pancake inside, but it tastes different because it has yeast and a little bit of chewiness because of the gluten in there. I don't have any honey or jam right here, but I tell you, these are really good with even just butter. Of course, I'm not going to have tea and crumpets. I'm going to have coffee and crumpets. These really are good. So now some British or English people might not agree that I made these right or anything, but it's my version of a crumpet, and it's good. That's all I need to know. We're gonna make pizza today. First off, we need a good fire, some cast iron. Right now what we're gonna use is the Cuisinart combo set. Works as a Dutch oven. You might have seen this before, but here's what's really important to make a great pizza is this insert that I came up with. It's the fire grate from one of those green egg barbecues. Just fits in there so that it's supported up about an inch and a half or so from the bottom, so we're not going to burn the bottom. We'll go over to the table and start building our pizza. All right, here it comes. Here's our dough. All right, with a little patience and a little work, you can get yourself your dough round out. It's pretty thick on this side, but that's for the people that like the thick crust. Then we'll have thick and thin, and just a few more pieces on the top. She's smoking in there. Now, trick is just getting this slid off. If we get that, we got her made. Oh, close. And take a peek. Oh boy, does that look good. There, look at the little pepperonis even cupped. But and I got a Kettle House Cold Smoke. It's one of the most popular beers here in Western Montana. It's a dark beer, but it's not like regular dark beers. It's kind of sweet and full-bodied, smoky. I guess that's where they come up with this Cold Smoke name. But back to the pizza. Let's see. Even though I overdid the bottom a little bit, it doesn't taste burnt. And it's cooked all the way through. Nice and puffy here. I didn't get a pepperoni on that piece. Let me try a burnt pepperoni. That's really good. So I just had a wind and rainstorm come through here. Didn't last very long, but it was pretty brutal when it did pass through. Everything held up really well. It's nice and calm now, beautiful now. But the tent with the vestibule, I love that. Everything's nice and dry inside this front vestibule. The cot tent and the tarp held through, and the wind came from the right side there, from the right to the left, and it held really well in this direction as well. As you can see, everything's still intact. And I, covered things up and put things away, and so this is pretty much the way it was. It's the way I had it when the storm came through, and it's beautiful right now, really beautiful. Blew all that, or washed all that smoke out of the air. Look at that scene. It's just so serene right now. Good morning. It's the 6th or 7th day here on my last day, so got to start packing things up. The cooler it's pretty, you know, there's nothing's very cold in there. It's about, I mean, they're like maybe 50 degrees or somewhere around that. And so I really won't trust the meats anymore. So, and I'm gotta make breakfast for the day and pack up. So I decided the easiest thing was gonna be a cheese sandwich. The hamburger buns are still good, and the cheese is gonna be fine because it's, you know, it's been cold enough to keep that good. And of course doing my coffee there. But on the cheese, I've got what do I got here? It's the ghost pepper cheese. And instead of just a plain cheese, which would be kind of bland, this ghost pepper cheese, at least it's got a little bit of a bite to it and something to taste. And no butter or nothing, just bread and cheese is going to be my breakfast today. And actually this is my second one. So anyway, that's the story of my morning of my last day. I'm not going to make any big breakfast or anything, just this, pack things up, head home. Gonna miss all this. It's a beautiful morning. Of course it gets really nice now, but I had a good time. That last view of the camp. So I'm sure the boys are ready to go home. And so I can put all these videos that I did up, and talk to you guys later.